The meeting is now called to order. The meeting is now called to order. Would everybody stand in the silent prayer and the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sunday. Would you please call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Noah. Here. Councilwoman Covington. Here. Councilman Cassoff.
Here.
Mayor Shropshire.
Here.
Councilman Franklin.
Here.
Councilman Palmer. Councilman Williams.
Here.
Excused. Councilman Palmer's excused. A quorum is present. Now we move to public comment. Good evening, everyone. This is City Council meeting, June the 22nd, 2026. I'm asking everybody to speak up into the mic. You have 3 minutes to speak. And please try to hold your comments to 3 minutes. I do give a little latitude, but you know, we have to really hold to the 3 minutes, 5, 6, 7 seconds. And just be respectful for everyone. And make sure you speak up, because we got these new mics and it makes a big difference if you speak up a little bit louder. Thank you. Yes, Ms. London,
Harold.
first person.
Hey, thank you all for allowing me to make this comment. I am the general contractor and I work on the property at 238 South Clark for community response. So we appreciate your consideration and these concerns. Community Response purchased 238 South Clark on November the 8th of 2024. Per Ameren, Missouri, the electric meter was removed from the property in 2014. That's just to say the property had been vacant for some time. As such, the property has been vacant. On October 21st of 2024, Legacy Title and Escrow sent an email message to a Joel Pugh at the city of Ferguson asking, do you show anything due on this property? On October 28th, Mr. Pugh replied that there were no liens recorded at this time. Herein is where the problem began. The title company assumed when Mr. Pugh stated that there were no liens recorded against the property, the title company assumed that that meant that there were no charges pending against the property. And so when we closed on the property, there was a lien levied by the city of Ferguson on January the 21st. Now, we as community response and representing 238 South Clark, we are not disputing the charges nor the lien that is actually present on the property. We'll work that out with the title company. However, as we work that issue out, we would like permission to continue work on the property. Mr. Hampton, at one point, John Hampton, had given us like an exception so that we could pull a permit, so that we could get some work done on the property. We'd like to continue and to at least develop the property. We've added a new roof, we've added new windows, and we're trying to restore electrical power. So we need some sort of an exception so that we can continue work as we work out this lien. We are not disputing with the city of Ferguson the validity of the lien. We just would like to continue to work on the property to maybe make it marketable while we figure out what's going on with this lien. It was just a miscommunication. I have copies of the emails, and the details of the emails that were sent back and forth were too short. The title company didn't respond or didn't get detailed with the question to Mr. Pugh. And then when Mr. Pugh sent back his response, he said that there were no liens recorded. He did not let the title company know that there were probably some other pending charges from the previous owner. Community Response is not responsible for those charges. So what we'd like to do is continue to work on the property while we work with the title company in order to get the lien resolved. But in the meantime, the property is sitting and we as a small nonprofit can't really afford to pay that lien and continue to work on the property. So we're hoping that we could get some latitude or some grace in working on the property. That's why we're here tonight. Yes. And we made it in our 3 minutes.
Yeah. You,
I have documentation if it's necessary, if you'd like to see the email correspondence between the title company and we can figure out why this is an issue. Thank you.
okay, just to let you know, we do have a new city manager. You have his card now. His name is Dave Musgrave. And he'll be working with you guys, with you and Jeff to see what he can do to help you guys out.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you all.
Deborah Carter.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Carter. I'm an alderwoman in the city of Cool Valley. I need help with the crosswalks at the McClure South Berkeley STEM Academy on Brotherton. The city of Ferguson was, accommodating in getting a fresh coat of paint on the crosswalks in the previous school year, 2025 through 2026. My parents and our students were very grateful. What I've noticed personally at this crosswalk is that the drivers of the automobiles do not stop or yield to the pedestrians in the crosswalk. I on many occasions had to throw my hands up like a crossing guard to get drivers to stop and obey Missouri law. I'm asking for your help. I have attached a sign I saw recently that could help with this safety issue. I've seen others. If you have suggestions, please help with this safety issue and provide. I'm here to listen to any suggestions. The new school year is just around the corner, and there will be a group of 11, 12-year-olds who are trying to make their way home safely. I hope that something can be done at these crosswalks to alert the drivers to stop. I appreciate the attention from Mr. Musgrave, Ms. Noah, and Mr. Gilbert, the Public Works Director. Your attention is appreciated, and I do have a picture if you would like to see it. I can give to your. And I have correspondence from Mr. Musgrave at this time that they are taking a look at it, and I do appreciate that attention. Thank you.
Thank you. City manager?
I was just gonna reply when she's here, if that's all right. Corey is looking into the signs. We're gathering pricing right now. I don't think we can manufacture them in our sign shop, and you may not know we have a sign shop in-house, but I don't think we can do that. But I believe we will have a solution here in the next couple weeks. So just FYI.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, city manager.
Cassandra Butler.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Good
Cassandra
evening.
Butler, 12 Culver Court, Ferguson, Missouri, 63135. Evening, everyone. I just was looking at the agenda for today, and I made notice that part of the agenda include a bill requiring second reading. That would be bill number 7345 and bill number 7346. Which basically has to do with compensation for this employees, part-time and other officers and employees of the city. So, and I thought this was a good time to note that although you'll be asking to vote on the recommendations for salaries, schedules, that you're missing the input of the personnel board on that. And I just want you to be aware that the personnel board, that is one of the specific duties. So it's number 4. It says review and make recommendations regarding the compensation plan. So, unfortunately, for the 4 years I've been on the personnel board, It's been very difficult, and I'm not speaking for the personnel board, I'm just speaking for myself in trying to do the work that we're supposed to do on the charter. So I'm hoping that this is a new season with the new city manager, et cetera, and that you could have access to more assistance and eyes on bill number, these two bills that have to do with the personnel schedule. But the personnel board has been specifically cut out from giving you information such as that. So hopefully it's a new season and we'll be able to do our job. Thanks.
Thank you.
John Knowles,
Good evening, John Knowles, 716 North Elizabeth Avenue. From what I understand, we're thinking about doing a tax increase coming up, either a sales or a levy increase. I was on the school board, and the levies, from what I understand, become inadequate over a period of time. This is by design so that the governmental entity needs to go to the electorate to justify needing more money. I believe that a levy increase would be the better way, a more equitable way to seek the revenue that we need to keep our public safety and the general fund more flush. And I could get behind something like that. I've talked to several other residents. And if there's need for a committee to get behind that, I'd be more than willing. One of the thoughts on that is there's this private equity company, Topstone Investments. They own 2 houses on Dade. They owe $9,000 in taxes. Only one of them is paid current. And this company is registered in Las Vegas, Nevada. The president of the company lives in San Mateo, California. And they own 100 properties across North County. But they're serial tax cheats. And if we were to get the money that they owed just in the area, we'd be able to easily pay our bills. I go on ad nauseum, forgive me. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, thank you.
that's all, Mayor.
This concludes the portion of our meeting of public comment. City Manager, is there a report this evening?
Just a brief one. Good evening, Mayor and Council. It was on social media earlier today, but our website update is rolling out slowly over the next few days. I want to give a public appreciation to Lavetta, Joseph, and Luke. They were the kind of 3 team members that head this up. You'll notice there's a new AI bot in the corner. Its name is Fergie. It's our little leaf mascot. You can basically ask it any question. It'll help you navigate the website, and it's still learning, so be patient with it. But the website is much easier to navigate at this point. It looks a ton better. So please provide any critique, those type of things, and be patient over the next couple of weeks as it continues to upload because more content is going into it. But that's pretty much the only update I want to provide this evening. So yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you, City Manager. We move to special presentations from the auditors. Oh. We have no special presentations this evening. Public hearings, we have no public hearings this evening. Consent agenda, City Council meeting minutes. We have the council budget work session minutes for June the 2nd. We have the council work session minutes meeting for 6/4/26. We have regular council meeting minutes for 06/26, the 9th. And we have council budget work session minutes for 6/11/2026. Is there a motion on the floor to approve?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Boards and Commission meeting minutes, none. We have, oh yeah, we have some. We have Civilian Review Board from 5/26/25, and we have the Plan Commission from 4/21/26. I request a motion and a second to receive these minutes.
So move.
You said a second? I didn't hear you. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Boards and commission minutes are approved. Appointments. We have pending boards and commission appointments. I have requested a motion and approve to approve for HRC Commission, Curtis Contrell McCann to the HRC and reappoint Andrea Husman and Rosie Boyd to FSBD, Desi Briscoe to the HRC, and Peggy Fowl to the Parks Board. Jeff, yeah, it was Jeff.
Jeff, you forgot his name.
Jeff Galoni. Galonia,
Jeff G.
Jeff G.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. We move to request. We move to liquor license request. I request a motion and a second to approve new liquor license for A1 Wine and Spirits on New Halls Ferry Road, A1, and the spirit of, and wine and spirits on Parshall Road, and to approve the renewal liquor license for United Mart Gas LLC, USA Market, the Hive Cafe, and Walgreens number 6023. All in favor?
Aye. Need a motion.
May I have a motion?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. We moved to proclamations. We do not have any proclamations this evening. Resolutions. We move to resolution 2026-24 without objection to be introduced by Councilman Franklin. If there are no objections, Attorney Ryan, could you please read the motion of the resolution? Sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. A resolution of the City of Ferguson, Missouri, approving and adopting a budget for the 2026-2027 fiscal year.
City Manager, could you explain, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, City Council. You were all a part of our budget work sessions. This has been kind of our life for the past couple of months. This budget is balanced and I think it's the best we could do at this point. So I appreciate the hard work and effort that has went into this. If there's questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, but I believe you know this pretty much front and back at this point, so.
Yes, Ms. Noah.
I just want to thank everyone as well. City Manager, for clarity, can you just share the staff reductions in fire and police?
I'll share all 12 positions. So between hiring freeze in vacancies and reductions in staff due to budgetary restraints, we have eliminated the following positions: Assistant City Manager, Assistant Finance Director, code enforcement officer, nuisance abatement worker, parks maintenance worker, office manager, 2 records clerks, a captain, and 3 firefighters / EMT positions. A total of 12 positions across 6 departments, all full-time basis.
Councilman Miller, you okay with that? Okay. I just want to go over it again one more time. We will not lose any maintenance on our men for maintenance or for turf maintenance out of the Public Works Department. Am I right?
I mean, they're as thin as we can get at this point. You've lost 6 to 7 positions in the 12 years I've been here. We couldn't reduce that department anymore. So no, you have not lost any positions over last year's budget, but they are a very lean department currently.
And there's a lot of questions asked about, will they lose law enforcement and fire response time? As far as manpower and men.
Again, both departments are as minimal as possible based on their manning. Fire department is literally running at minimum manning right now. Police department, of course, could always use additional officers based on their call volume, but you have the same number of officers you had, actual officer positions that you had last year, and we are at minimum manning in the fire department based on their shift usage. So it should be the same as it was last year when it comes to response times and all that things. Of course, if call volume increases, additional things happen, that's going to be a strain on both departments. But both departments are at their minimum levels based on usage.
Councilman Franklin?
The 12 positions you touched on, can you tell us how many of those are actually vacant positions that we're just not going to fill?
So you have 4 of the 12 that are currently don't have bodies in them. The other 8 are reductions.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Miller?
City manager, code enforcement, nuisance, parks maintenance worker.
And just a note, our officers are working, to my understanding, they're working 3 12-hour shifts. So we have been thin, but we hope that in the near future, we can open it up for hiring again. But right now, I think things are going to be as is now. There's a hiring freeze, but we still have the same amount of officers and firemen on the streets. That's important to let everybody know this. So when you call, we have so many calls a day from the police department, and I noticed the fire department is picked up. EMS is picked up. So citizens, we have to be patient and understanding. It's just a rough job out here right now in our city. We have 18,500 or so people, and wow, what a cause in our city. You hear sirens all the time. So I just want everybody to know that we're still staffed. We're just not going to be able to put any more EMS, firemen, or police officers on at this time. City manager, you have anything else on this?
No.
I request a motion and a second.
So moved.
Clerk, please, roll call, please.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah. Councilwoman Covington. Councilman Cassoff.
I'm going to abstain. I can't in good conscience vote for this because of some serious issues I have, not making the pension contribution. I strongly disagree with some of the priorities in this budget. At the same time, I recognize that the city has to pass a budget by the deadline. So I'm going to abstain from this.
Mayor Shropshire.
Aye.
Councilman Williams.
Abstain.
numbers, please, on that?
4 yes, 2 abstain.
Resolution 2026-24 passes. We move to resolution 2026 without objection to be introduced by Councilman Franklin. If there are no objections, Attorney Ryan, could you please read the resolution?
Thank you, Mayor. A resolution of the City of Ferguson, Missouri, adopting a capital improvement program for the city for the 5 fiscal years of fiscal year 2026 through 2027 through fiscal years 2030 through 2031.
City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This also was a piece of your budget. It's just passed by separate resolution because that's how CIP is within the charter. As you recall, we made a lot of cuts to this budget as well. But again, this was to salvage the overall capital projects moving forward. Next year, we'll have a little bit more wiggle room on that, but this year we did have to reduce it drastically. If there's questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Any questions? Yes.
So this is where we just kept everything that we already have a lease on, and we're not purchasing anything else. I am so sorry. So this is just, just what we have lease on, and we're not purchasing anything else. We just kept the things that we had a lease on, correct?
Correct. If memory serves, we kept 2 items, like a engine for a salt truck and I believe the IT, but everything else literally got cut from this. That wasn't a current commitment from the previous years.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We move. I request a motion and a second for approval.
So moved.
City Clerk, call the roll.
Who's second?
I think Nick seconded.
Nick, seconded.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Cassoff, Councilwoman Noah. Councilwoman Covington,
Aye.
Mayor Shropshire,
Aye.
Councilman Williams,
Abstain.
You wanna try
No.
to get Nick again?
Want to
He's
hit
back.
Nick again? He's back.
Councilman Cassoff.
Aye.
I didn't.
I think
He
he
said
says
aye.
aye.
Oh, he said yes.
I said aye.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Nick. The ayes have it. 2026-25 passes. We move to the resolution 2026-26 without objection to be introduced by Councilwoman Noah and Councilman Cassoff. If there are no objections, Attorney Ryan, could you please read the resolution?
Thank you, Mayor. A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment to a contract for processing and housing municipal inmates with St. Louis County Justice Center, Clayton, Missouri.
City Manager, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. This is the amendment to the jail processing that you've had in your email for the last couple of weeks. It's pretty straightforward. I did answer some questions via email with the costs and the budget and everything else, but if there's additional questions, I'm more than happy to answer those at this time.
I request a motion and a second for approval.
So moved.
City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Cassoff,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah. Councilwoman Covington. Mayor Shropshire,
Aye.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Williams,
Aye.
Resolution 2026 passes. We move to resolution 2026-27 without objection to be introduced by Councilman Franklin and Councilman Cassoff. If there are no objections, Attorney Ryan, could you please read the resolution?
Thank you, Mayor. A resolution authorizing the city manager to perform certain actions with respect to city property.
City Manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. If you recall, this resolution has to do with a safety deposit box across the street at UMB Bank and me gaining access to it. If there's questions, I'm more than happy to answer it, but basically I'm just getting added so I can actually access what is ours.
Councilwoman Noah?
So, thank you, Mayor. So City Manager, you'll have access to the safe deposit box. Will anyone else on staff, or are you the only person?
I'll be honest, this box hasn't been opened since 2010. So I don't even know why we have it at this point. And I'd like to know what's in it, and then we'll go from there. I have a feeling it's empty, but if it's empty, my plan is just to close it and not pay the $85 a year to have a safety deposit box, because we have a vault here on site that we keep all of our title work and everything else in. So I really don't know why we have this box, and I just want to know what it's for.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other? Councilman Franklin?
City Manager Musgrave, I would just ask if you could go live when you open that thing. In case it's a pot of gold.
We can do the city Facebook page and go live over there. That's not a bad idea.
2010 is a long time. No telling what might be in that box. You know, might be a golden ticket.
It's just gonna be a Post-it note that says, ha ha.
Oh, there's a big check in there.
And just for the public, I think, the other reason is, you know, safety deposit boxes aren't free. So we've been paying whatever the fee is since at least 2010, probably before that, for this box, and we don't know what's in it. So we want to kind of, if it's something of value, great. If not, you know, cut that fee off from the bank. So I'm looking forward to you getting access.
What's happening?
Any other?
Meeting.
Any other questions? I request a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Cassoff,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah. Councilwoman Covington,
Aye.
Mayor Shropshire,
Aye.
Councilman Williams.
Aye.
Resolution 2026-27 passes. We move to bills requiring first reading without objection to be introduced by Councilman Franklin and Councilman Kazoff. Attorney Ryan, to read the bill by title only, please.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Ferguson, Missouri to execute the deed and acknowledge other documents in order for the real properties to be transferred to the city for city development and or beautification.
City Manager, could you explain, please?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. This is another ordinance for some post-third properties from the county. This is the standard practice we do when there's properties available for post-third. If there's questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you. We move to bills requiring a second reading. I request a motion and a second to read Bill 7345 a second time and place it upon its passage.
So moved.
Second.
City Attorney, would you please read the bill by title only?
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance repealing ordinance number 2025 TBD and adopting an ordinance fixing the salaries of part-time employees of the Parks and Recreation Department of the city of Ferguson for the fiscal year 2026-2027.
City Manager, give us some quick answers on that, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. As mentioned the last time, this is our pay ordinance that's adopted every year. This ordinance in particular, 7345, applies to the part-time staff within the Parks Department. So this is your lifeguards, seasonal staff, that kind of stuff. And for clarity, basically the only thing that changed in this was the raising of the minimum wage. Everything else pretty much stayed the same in this.
Councilwoman Noah?
Right, and I appreciate that. I do want to ask, the boards and commissions are important. They're tradition of the city. And we have, I believe, Councilwoman Covington is now the council liaison for personnel. So hopefully moving forward, personnel, I don't know what's going on with personnel, so I'm not making any accusations. And I know that it takes a lot to keep the boards and commissions going. We're all council liaisons for the boards and commissions. But I did listen to the residents' concern, and she did say 4 years. Again, I'm not making any accusations. But we do need to meet, the boards are there for recommendations to bring to council. They're in place for a reason. So I'm just hoping moving forward that we will receive recommendations from the boards and commissions. Again, I heard her concern, and we just want to try to do our best moving forward. That's my ask. Thank you all.
Clerk London, may we have the roll, please? Roll call.
Councilman Cassoff,
Aye.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Williams,
Aye.
Mayor Shropshire,
Aye.
Councilwoman Covington,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah. Aye.
We move to Bill 7346. I request a motion and a second to read the bill a second time and place it upon its passage.
So moved.
Attorney, please read the, wait, second, is there a second?
I say.
By Ms. Covington.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Attorney Ryan, would you please read the bill by title only?
Thank you, Mayor. An ordinance repealing ordinance number 2025 TBD and adopting an ordinance fixing the salaries and other compensation of all officers and employees of the city as provided in sections 2-47, compensation of chapter 2, administration of the code of the city of Ferguson for the fiscal year 2026 through 2027.
City Manager Musgrave, would you give explanation?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This as well is the pay ordinances for full-time staff. The only real changes that were made to this agreement were in police and fire based on the CBA agreements. So we had to adjust a few of the salary ranges because of their contract agreements, their contract negotiations. Pretty much every other position and salary remained the same as the previous year. But if there's other questions, I'm more than happy to answer those.
Clerk London, would you call the roll, please?
Councilman Cassoff,
Aye.
Councilwoman Covington. Aye. Councilwoman Noah. Aye. Mayor Shropshire,
Aye.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Williams.
Aye.
Bill number 7346 passes. Unfinished business? Does anybody have any?
Just wanted to, thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to follow up on my ask at the last council meeting to the city manager regarding the trash bin on Canfield Drive and incorporating a cleanup on Canfield Drive into the street maintenance schedule. Currently, the street is cleaned once a month by volunteers. And so I just want to know if that's possible. And when we spoke about it last time, you said you had to check to see if you could place the trash bin on Canfield Drive.
Yeah, so the bottom line is gonna be the easement. Like, we don't traditionally put trash cans on easements just along streets because it's another trash can we have to empty. We do have trash receptacles in parks, parking lots, that kind of stuff of city property. But the only other trash receptacles that we check on the regular are close to bus stops traditionally. So we don't have a precedent where we would put a trash can on a city street and go empty it, if that makes sense. So my quick answer is probably not. As far as cleanup, we are more than happy to help arrange cleanups with residents, that kind of stuff, and then also get it on the regular schedule when it comes to street sweeping, that kind of stuff as well. But that's not a problem.
So you said help arrange cleanups with residents. So the ask from the residents on Canfield Drive is, can the city start to clean the street? So the residents aren't out there doing that. And I understand, and not, you know, that street, that area between West Florissant and Ellison gets a lot of trash. People drive and they just throw trash out, unfortunately. So I think I would hope that maybe if a resident wanted to go out there every now and again and pick up trash, they could, but not where they feel like, you know what? Hey, if we don't do it, it's not gonna get done. That's more of the concern.
Well, and I'm gonna be honest, my answer is not gonna be popular. So trash is thrown out windows and other people's streets, whatever. I have a feeling that residents are picking those up out of their easement or out of their yard, but that's not always taking place in every area of town. And unfortunately, we don't have the staff. You've seen the budget numbers. We have 12 guys in Public Works. We can't have them going and cleaning up every single easement around town and pick up the trash. If they're mowing, yes, they are picking up trash in those areas, but they don't mow down Canfield Drive. That's not an area that they have on their list. So, like I said, I'm more than happy to try to help with community engagement, but I can't say that I'm going to dedicate Public Works to go out and clean up that street without just doing it in other areas.
Well, and I understand that, and we don't, I'll just say this, I will, that like I said, we go there, we do it once a month. And again, even if it's every 8 weeks, you know, just the fact that at some point the city is attempting to help because it's a city street. I mean, at the end of the day, it really is, and I understand that staff is limited, but for a whole year, if it's not being picked up by staff and the resident is cleaning the street and I'm cleaning the street, I mean, what is it saying? What is it saying to the resident?
And I want to be clear, like the street sweeper does go down Canfield. Like the street itself gets cleaned as much as the other city streets do. They don't go up in people's yards and pick up trash or walk down the sidewalk and pick up trash.
You're saying
Two separate.
the easement belongs to, who is responsible for the easement?
The homeowner mows their easement. The
Well, no,
homeowner is responsible for their trash in the easement as well.
So the part that I'm referring to is between Ellison and West Florissant. So, and there's no homes right there,
It
so
goes
that would
with
be
the
the
business.
business. So the businesses are responsible.
Correct.
Okay, so that's why we're having a conversation, right? So that means that we have to do our best to try to hold the businesses more accountable. Hey, help us keep the city clean. You have a business in this area. How can you help the city? Okay, and I will explain that to the residents, so thank you.
Not a problem.
Councilwoman Covington.
Okay, so I don't know if this is old or new, because I just sent you the pictures today. Do we have any update, or did Parks go over to the dog park and figure out what was going on over there? Do you want me to save that for?
No,
you? Okay,
I think it's a
okay.
combination, and we've spoken to both Public Works and Parks. I think he's still sitting on, yeah, he is. And we have contacted the fence company. They're gonna come out and take a look at that section along with the large opening for the mowers and get that fixed as well, because that's been an ongoing problem. So we're gonna have both issues fixed at the same time by the fence company. It should be resolved hopefully in the next week or two. We have a feeling it was a combination of possibly a vehicle and water company doing repair and some other things. So maybe just not one isolated incident, but it will be remedied in the next couple of weeks, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Franklin?
So at our last meeting, we talked about code enforcement's ability to go after violators with fines. And if I heard correctly, currently we don't have a fine structure for people that break the city ordinances as it relates to code enforcement. Is that accurate?
No, there is a fine structure. It's just the maximum we can levy is $200 based on our current ordinances.
And is that levied before they get to court, or is that like the initial step we take when there's a violator, or like what is that process?
So it depends on what they're being ticketed for, whether they're going to go through the court system or if they're going to be at a hearing for tall grass, nuisance, that kind of stuff. So there's two different avenues we can take. So it depends on the offense and kind of the homeowner and what kind of history we have, if we're honest.
And I guess historically, or really modern times, when we do find individuals for violations, do they pay the fines and get back in compliance, or what do you normally see?
If they don't pay the fine, then it gets put on their property as a lien as a special. So one way or another, we typically get it unless they don't have a mortgage or that kind of stuff, then they don't have to pay it, but that's in the weeds.
But are they responsive? I'm just trying to see, like, if they, when they get that fine and they're just, oh, well,
Depends on the homeowner.
Okay, so it's a mixed bag.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, yes, Councilman Kazoff?
I had a follow-up on that. So when we're talking about things like grass cutting, That's not actually a fine. That's paying the cost of us cutting the grass, correct?
Yeah, you're talking about two different things. So what you're speaking of right now would be the actual cost incurred. That's what we attach as a lien. And that's if we abate the property, send out the crew, they cut the grass.
Right.
We have a matrix that's for the time allowed, equipment, all that stuff, and that's assessed differently. If it's a fine because the homeowner didn't take care of it, then we can go up to $200 in the form of a fine, but that's separate from abatement costs. You are correct.
Correct. And abatement costs can be a lien. Fines aren't a lien, are they?
Typically, no.
And I don't think they can be, can they?
I don't think so.
And the $200 limit on fines is imposed by state law on a charter city, right?
I believe so.
Thank you.
City manager. As far as our fine structure, how would we, or how can we, or are we maxed out as far as charter? Because I'd like to see a little bit stiffer fines.
And that's something you're gonna be reviewing in the next several months as we look at the code of ordinances, thanks to our planning and zoning department. If you recall, we sent out an email earlier this week about having a work session to go over the ordinances, and all the fine structures are within that document. So that's something we can discuss in the work sessions and look at, make adjustments to, and all those things.
Okay, next question. I did attend the tennis training out at Forest Wood Park. And everything seems to be rolling pretty well. And I was just wanting to know if there was an update on the restrooms for the upcoming weekend.
The restrooms were opened, I believe, officially last weekend over at Forestwood Park. They're not 100% operational. We still have one urinal in the men's bathroom that is not functioning properly. They are old, but they are unlocked. Both bathrooms have a code system on them, so they're unlocked at a certain time and locked at a certain time. But they are open daily right now, as long as we don't get more vandalism in the next several weeks.
Okay. Now, how does the tennis coach or the director, how does he get the code?
He will not get the code.
Okay.
They are unlocked
So-
at a specific time and locked at a specific time. We
Okay.
will not hand out a code to anyone.
And what are your hours on?
It depends on the day, but it is typically from 8 in the morning till I believe. So 8 to 8 right now.
8 to 8?
Mhm.
And the damage comes during the 8 to 8 hours, or does it come at a certain time? I know we were talking about discussing that. Is it?
I won't go into details, but we've adjusted our times in the past that the
Okay.
restrooms are unlocked based on when we feel the damage has occurred. Because there are peak times when adolescents are unmonitored, and so we try to prevent their access to those restrooms to prevent the vandalism. Currently, we have them open from 8 to 8.
Okay. Councilman Kazoff?
Yeah, I wanted to add one more comment about the fines for failure to comply with code violations. I think it is important that we be mindful of the historical context of levying fines in Ferguson. Abatement costs are a real cost to the city, and putting them as a lien, by all means, we should be doing. As far as levying fines, we need to beware that, first of all, that we don't get back into the situation where we're motivated by revenue. Second of all, that we be mindful of the fact that when we were talking about traffic fines, courts and lawsuits intervened and said that, some people might not be able to afford particular fines, and we have to provide alternatives to paying the cash fine. So, we can't have a talk about ramping up fines and cracking down on people in a historical vacuum here in Ferguson. And I haven't heard that mentioned in this conversation, and I thought it was important to bring that up.
Councilman Councilman Whit Franklin.
So just to follow up on the fines, so I think what the overall goal for Ferguson is compliance. So fines are kind of a mechanism to attempt to obtain fines. And as you know, the city of Ferguson has the ability to waive fines if someone reaches compliance. So I work with fines. I've been working with them for the last 19 years, doing my own code enforcement. And, you know, our goal is compliance. So we'll waive it all the way up before it goes to court. You know, once it goes to court, it's out of our hands. You know, it becomes a civil matter. But so I think the goal of the city just needs to remain, we want compliance. So if we find you and you fix the problem, hey, we reserve the right to waive that fine because compliance is the overall goal. So I think if we focus on compliance being our overall goal, we won't have to worry about some of the concerns that Councilman Kassoff mentioned, you know. So just wanted to add that in. Thank you.
And I believe that,
Wait, point of
Oh.
order. And I agree with that, Councilman Franklin, because just like the gentleman came. Oh, I apologize. You looked over here. I thought it was okay. Is it okay? I apologize. You know, just like the gentleman came tonight and he spoke and said, hey, this is what we're trying to accomplish. We want to work with the city. You know, that's what we want. That's the type of participation that we need. You know, of course, we don't want to get ourselves in a situation like where people were being unconstitutional police. And, you know, that's not the goal, you know, to have people harassed and all these excess fines, but it is about compliance. And when you have businesses and, you know, I'll just say in general, when you have people in general that, you know, it's like your grass is to the front door and you just won't mow it, we just need you to mow the grass. You know, a lot of it is just people just not mowing the grass. I mean, I think that's one of the largest code enforcement reports. I know in the budget session, the city manager stated, and the code enforcement manager was here, there were like 700 complaints. I really would like to know how many of those are duplicates, you know, because I think we're seeing a lot of the same complaints because the issue just is not being addressed. And like you said earlier, city manager, we don't have the staff. And so people are saying, hey, I reported this to the city. They're just ignoring it. So I'm going to report it again because that's what a lot of residents think. They don't understand, you know, all the details behind the situation. So I just wanted to add that. That's all.
Councilman Kassoff.
and I can assure you that in 2013, if you had asked a city official about the traffic fines, they would have said the goal is compliance. And again, I'm not saying we should never fine anybody and we shouldn't enforce codes. We absolutely should. What I'm saying is that we must be cognizant of the historical context and of legal actions that have been taken against our city in the past, and we need to proceed with diligence in adhering to the promises we've made in regard to fines levied in other contexts. Now, regarding grass being too long, that's a totally different issue. If somebody doesn't cut their grass, they get a 7-day notice and then we go through a process for summary abatement. The city cuts the grass and a lien is put on the property. So the grass is going to get cut and they're going to pay for it one way or the other. What we're talking about is things that the city doesn't abate. You have peeling paint on a window frame, or your driveway needs to be sealed, or you know you left your trash can out at the curb for too many days or whatever. The city is able to write ordinance violations for those, and under state law can levy fines of up to $200. But again, I want to say that as a city, we have a historical context and a legal background that we need to pay attention to when we are considering these fines. And, you know, it's really exciting to have the prospect of being able to slam a $200 fine on somebody because they didn't get something fixed on their house by whatever deadline we set. But some people can't afford it, you know? What if your garage door is broken and you don't have the money for a new garage door? You know, it's $1,000 for a garage door. Are we gonna then fine them $200 and then continue to order them to get a new garage door and keep fining them $200 every so often until they get one? Because that's what it's gonna take for some people. And again, I'm not against code enforcement, nor am I against fines that are levied in a careful and constitutional and targeted fashion. But I'm just asking that the city be aware of the historical and legal context about levying fines that has been a discussion in this city for more than a decade. And that's all I've got to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Cassoff. Well, I want to say something on that issue. I didn't see anything in the consent decree that talks about code enforcement. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. And I didn't see anything about historically, yeah, they wrote bad tickets, but I didn't see anything in there, people fussing about, yeah, getting tagged because their grass was 2 foot high. You hear a lot of stuff about that, but the consent decree has nothing to do with us being aggressive with our fines and lazy people. Right now, we have a problem with people don't want to cut the easement. That's their job. The yard could look spick and span 100%. But you got 2 foot tall weeds on the other side of the sidewalk in the curb. That never used to be. We have a problem in our city right now that people do not care. They're lazy. They don't want to push that lawnmower extra 25 feet by 2 foot to cut the easement. It's horrible. People are letting weeds grow up. It looks like a forest. The yard looking nice, but your property line looks like you're out in the forest someplace. This has to change. Look around our city, drive through our city, and see what you see. It is moving slowly across our city. Weeds, high broken down trees, branches laying in yards, people throwing tree branches out on the curb. Overgrowth. It's horrible. And until we start enforcing, one more time, until we start enforcing the fines, people aren't going to care. They're not going to pay attention. And I think any tool, if it takes reaching out to another municipality, seeing how they do it, and everybody's not a charter city. I don't know if we have rules in our charter on this. I don't know. That's something I will have to research too. But right now, I took a ride around our city and I rode Ward 1 and Ward 3. And let me tell you, I was shocked. The same area that Miss Noah cleaned up this weekend has so much trash laying around it now. People throw stuff out the window. I see it all the time. So whatever we can do in code enforcement, whatever we could do as fining people, I think we have to do that. I'm for you clean your property up, okay, your fine goes away. I'm for that. But right now, we got to get some leverage and we got to get it quick. Else our city's going to be looking like a forest. Councilman Williams.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but want to speak up about this. So if we cut the grass, we're actually giving a service and it's a levy on the property. But I think what Councilman Cassoff is saying, it's a slippery slope. Like, I do agree, we need to put some pressure, but we need to be careful because of the historical context with the tickets. They don't have anything to do with each other, but you know, it was a lot of lawsuits over policing the tickets. So Councilman Franklin said the goal is compliance. I would agree with that, but it's a slippery slope when we do these fines because some people might not be able to afford it. Like I said, I had a tree fall in my yard, $800 just for a branch. Cracked the concrete, that was $3,000. Some people can't afford that. And then a lot of times if you're renting your property, it's really supposed to be the landlord that's doing it and they're not. And I would agree that, you know, a lot of people letting their properties go down, but I think the overall moral of this is, you know, we can fine, but we need to make sure it consents with the Missouri maximum and just be careful because we do have a history of overfining. Like we're trying to do it for compliance, but you know, 3-4 years from now, it might be a different council and they might abuse it. So I don't think he's saying don't fine, but we need to be careful on the slippery slope of fining and making that revenue generating source. So, you know, I think everyone has an input and they're right. The main thing is compliance, but we don't want it to get in a slippery slope where we're using this as a weapon instead of compliance.
Point taken. Councilman Williams, thank you. Councilman Franklin.
So I'll just end, I spent 14 years as an inspector in North County, West County, some of the areas, Castle Point, Glasgow Village, Spanish Lake, Wellston, Hillsdale, etc. So I have a very extensive knowledge of how fines work in poor communities and underserved communities. And one of the things they have in common is a lot of times they're high rental areas, which means someone else owns that property that may be in violation. And one of the biggest issues we have here in Ferguson is related to waste issues. Well, St. Louis County's waste code, it applies countywide, no matter if you're an unincorporated or a municipality, which means you can use the county's waste code to enforce waste violations. So yeah, we don't want our staff targeting people who, you know, may have fallen on hard times, but we know you've seen houses and situations throughout Ferguson that's a problem last year, it's a problem this year, you know, because, you know, there's no real effort to hold people accountable. So yeah, we're not going to go after people who can't afford a garage door. I mean, we've got programming that can help with garage doors. My thing is we have to hold people accountable in the community, and you do it in a lawful way and you follow those rules and ordinances in place so that no one can say, oh, you're discriminating or you're targeting. You're following what's already law. And so again, what I would advise city staff, reach out to local municipalities, reach out to St. Louis County. It's free and they can give you advice on how to implement the ordinances that are already in place and how to, you know, handle enforcement. Cause it's no easy solution. Cause I spent 14 years in Castle Point in Glasgow and it's still a problem. But we did get some compliance and we were able to hold certain individuals responsible. And we did catch people dumping illegally and we fined them as much as we could, you know? So it's not I guess one glove fits all type of situation, but we have to hold these people accountable and do our due diligence. And thankfully, as it relates to waste, we already have an ordinance that's countywide that we can utilize here in Ferguson. And some of the other things we'd have to have, you know, locally as a municipality, but that's just my last comment on that issue.
City Manager.
I'll just wrap it up, hopefully. So you're gonna have a work session about the code of ordinances. There's already state statute that outlines all of this. First offense is $200, second offense, I think it's $275, tiered. Can't exceed $500 in a 20-day period, blah, blah, blah. But this is all stuff that we can talk about in the work session and have added to the ordinances. There's a structure for it already in place on the state level. So it's there. We just have to straighten it out.
Okay.
I hope that wraps everything up for you.
Thank you, city manager. It wraps it up. It wraps it up. Miscellaneous. No, new business? Didn't I say new business? Okay, new business then. You spent a lot of time on it. New business, anybody? Yeah. Yes.
And if you don't know the answer to this question, Joseph is sitting behind you. It's about 4th of July parade. Do we know how many, groups we have walking in the parade? When do the timeline end for people to sign up? I will sign up tonight.
So we did take a couple more this week, I know, but you need to get your thing in the Google Sheet as soon as possible, because I think they have their safety meeting on the 25th. Is that right, Joseph? Yeah, I think it's Thursday, and that's mandatory. You have to be, somebody from your group has to be at that safety meeting, or we're not gonna let you participate. No. But I think if you get on the website tonight, Caitlin can still make exceptions. Last I talked to her, they were definitely still taking entries.
All right, thank you.
Is that right? Good.
That's it. I do want to say something on new business. Unfortunately, we're not going to have the Ferguson float in the parade this year. Actually, our council team is going to be walking the parade route. I'll be probably hanging out on the fire truck and walking too. But I ask, and it's just an ask, please put the candy in the bags that might be there. You know, I'm not for tossing candy to kids. That's just me. You know, that's my pet peeve. I'm not going to get on my grandstand, but this weekend I saw it done, and it was a dangerous situation. But I just think it's respect to our little ones. You know, we have time. The parade's not moving that fast to hand it to them, or if they have a bag or a baseball hat, or drop it in there. That's all I have right now on new business. Now we can go to miscellaneous.
Can I go?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
No,
I have a few comments and then I have a couple of questions. The next Forest Wood meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, July 7th at 7 p.m. at the Emmaus Bible Chapel located at 900 Highmont in Hornet. Nesbitt Newton neighborhood will meet tomorrow at 6 p.m. in Nesbitt Newton Park. Please bring a lawn chair. I am asking if their city manager, if there's staff available to attend to give updates at those meetings. That would be greatly appreciated. I want to thank everyone who participated in the Forest Wood neighborhood cleanup on Saturday, June 20th. And I would like to send a special shout out to our youth who volunteered to help keep their community beautiful. I want to thank the Ferguson staff, the organizers, the vendors, the residents, the participants. If I missed anyone, I apologize. Everyone who helped celebrate the Juneteenth celebration. It was a great time. Thank you very much, everyone. And we're looking forward to the 4th of July parade. So my first question is, I have three. City Manager, 130 Annabelle, and of course you don't have to answer right now. That's a St. Louis County trustee property. Is that a property that we're attempting to acquire?
I believe that's on an old list, but don't quote me.
You said on
We-
the whole,
On an old list.
on an old list?
OLD.
Okay.
We had about 30 that we turned in over 30 or 45 days ago, and I think that one was on that one. Everything that was with the trustee at that time, we definitely put in to acquire from them.
Okay.
So my guess is yes.
Okay. The next question is, do you know, and again, you may not know off the top of your head, maybe it's a figure that you can get to council at the next council meeting. Last year, well, this budget year, how much did the city recoup from nuisance and abatement?
I would not know that until after January 1st.
Okay.
So we didn't have a ton of liens or fines on from last year. They all started hitting the tax bill on this past December's invoices, which don't come realized for 12 months afterwards, if that makes sense.
Okay,
Because of how your taxes roll.
just curious of how much of that money we really.
I can look into that
Yeah, that's.
February, March of next year, but that'll be our first real full year
Okay,
of realizing some of those
okay.
special assessments.
And lastly, at one time, I actually participated myself, volunteers, we would hang the flags for the federal holidays. And I think that the task was given to Public Works, or no, okay, that's why I said I think. So I just want to know, where are we with that? I don't think that the Juneteenth flags were hung on the Victorian Light Post. And are we going to do that for the 4th of July? Have we stopped doing that as a city? Just curious about that.
There's a volunteer committee and one of the members is present this evening that hangs the American flags. They volunteer their time to put those out and take those down. Juneteenth flags were not put out this year because so many were stolen and we didn't have enough to cover the stretch. I think that answers both questions.
It does answer. I don't know if we can afford to get some more next year. I don't know.
Those,
Maybe not.
I would not say the ones that we purchased the first year because they were very pricey and they were very nice flags and that's why they got stolen. We could look at alternative flags, but again, you know, our budget restraints currently.
Right. Okay. Well, no, just, we're asking because, we want to ask so that the residents understand where we are. So what you're saying is that volunteers will hang the American flag. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, everyone.
Councilman Franklin?
So I just wanted to, I wanted to give Jonathan his kudos for putting together the Juneteenth celebration at Forest Wood this year. You got a lot of and you had a lot of help too. I want to leave Miss London out, but you specifically, you got criticism from the community because people kind of felt like you took it over and pushed them aside. And I had to let people know, let him cook and let's see what he can do. If he dropped the ball, all right. But you came through and you delivered. And so I just want to say thank you publicly and give you your shine. And, I'm hearing rumors next year you're gonna have Drake at the celebration. So you keep doing your thing. And thanks for all the hard work and then all the rest of the staff that contributed and volunteers. It was definitely a good event, but somehow we're gonna have to catch up with Delwood though, because man. But no, I'm just teasing, but yeah, thanks. And then other than that, I just want to say to the residents, to city staff, as it relates to our budget, our shortfalls, I can't change what's happened in the past, but all I can tell you moving forward, myself and this council, we're going to do our due diligence to keep this from occurring in the future. And hopefully we will be able to bring back staff down the road, but definitely we're going to do our due diligence and be responsible with taxpayers' money moving forward. Thank you.
Councilman Williams?
So I abstain on the budget. And the reason I did that, because it was a couple of ways we could have saved everybody's jobs. That was unpopular, but it was a couple of ways to do it. And I won't go down that road again. But I do want to thank the city of Ferguson for the Juneteenth celebration. That was really cool. A lot of cities don't do it. But it's still puzzling to me. I think when Juneteenth became a holiday, one of the contractors was like, I'll be out there on Friday, which was Juneteenth. And I'm like, the school is closed. and it was a younger contract. He was like, I'll talk to him. I said, man, that's like me asking you to come out on the 4th of July. And so this Juneteenth, I'm driving down, I see like the trash truck, I see maintenance people on the road. And it's like, this is a federal holiday, but people are not recognizing it. And it was kind of like MLK Day, like a lot of states didn't recognize that as a federal holiday until much later, like Arizona being one of them. And so that comes down to American history. I'm not trying to give a lecture. So I think Black people only make up about 14% of the nation, but all the 401k and programs that make us wealthy, a lot of those businesses got their money from cotton, and it was African Americans who picked that cotton. And so a lot of your major banks, if you do some research, their wealth came from that cotton. And the Civil War had nothing to do with freeing slaves. The South had an unfair advantage because they had free labor over the North. So the companies in the North couldn't compete. So slavery was not about freeing the slave. It was an economic disadvantage for the North. But, you know, this Juneteenth, I think people really need to know their history, because the holiday has not really been celebrated like I think it should. And I think that goes down to history, and they're definitely not teaching this in the public schools. So I think it's up to us to teach our young people the history. And one last note, and the reason I'm bringing this up, because my son, who I'm trying to educate, he was like, Dad, why are we celebrating that fake Black holiday? And I said, excuse me? And, you know, I had to explain to him what it meant. And my son is very intelligent, like his IQ is 160, and he's calling it a fake Black holiday. That kind of was upsetting to me. So I had to educate him on the importance of Juneteenth. And so I think we all have a responsibility to teach our young people the history and the importance of Juneteenth. But I just want to thank Ferguson for having that holiday and promoting it. Thank you.
You gotta go down to the city manager, so you got your hand up.
Yeah. I had to say this, today is my 14th wedding anniversary, so I'd like publicly apologize to my wife for not being home. But I did take her out to dinner last night, so publicly, I'm sorry. That's all I have.
Just happy anniversary, and always a pleasure to be out in the city.
Want to say happy anniversary to the city. Want to say happy anniversary to the city manager. Me and Dave's been around a long time together, probably about 11 years, I think. It's been a while. And it's good to see your things are rolling great with your marriage. I love it. I love an anniversary. We did have some banners. I don't know if they're still around, but I'd like, Joseph, would you check for next year and see if those banners were packed away? I think we had some maybe 3 foot by 2 foot that we hung up higher. So, you know, I don't know for sure if they're still there or they disappeared or whatever it might be. So just check for that when we start planning for next year. I want to put a special thanks out to a couple citizens that give their heart and soul to our PD, to Public Works, and to the fire department. I want to thank Mildred Kleins and Miss Norma Snowden. They did a great job for our first responders. And I appreciate you. I really do, honestly, because very thoughtful. Little you know about Miss Kleins. She's a very kind and generous person. She really is. She does it from her heart. She doesn't ask for anything extra, but it makes her feel good to be able to do for others. And ever since I've known her, she's been that way. And I appreciate you, Mildred. I really do. Thank you. Miss Norma, if you're listening, we appreciate you too. Thank you. Then I want to talk about farmers market. If anybody can help tear down the farmers market, any youth would really be appreciated. With farmers market will sign off on your community engagement that you might need in school, the community service awards. They will do that. So if we could get any young people down there to help the seniors out that's doing it, we got a lot of seniors that's putting that stuff up every Saturday through the summer. We will sign your paper for school, for your service awards. We really need help. I'm putting out a cry for help with the farmers market. Then I want to talk about Proud. Proud is having their anniversary this Saturday from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Garden. It'd be nice for everybody to show up and celebrate that great day with them. They've been around a long time. When I moved here, Proud was going on then in the late 80s, early 80s. So they've carried on the tradition of Proud, and let's go and celebrate their anniversary. And I want to get back to the Juneteenth. A lot went into that Juneteenth. It really did, and it showed. I was very pleased with everything that went on. The band was outstanding. The food court was great. And I want to thank the fire and police. They had a crew there the whole day. We were blessed that there wasn't any calls for either one. They all could hang out and enjoy hanging out with the citizens. And they did just that. One thing I can say about the fire department and the PD, they are community engaged. They were talking, walking. The fire department was explaining the fire truck to the kids. I tell you, it was really good to see the little kids out there having a good time. It really was. On June 29th, why don't you go ahead, Councilman Franklin, go ahead and announce it.
Sorry about that. We just wanted to let you all know on June 29th, 6 p.m. at the library, the Ferguson West will be meeting. So if you can come out to that meeting, residents, please pencil that in on your calendars.
Yes, Dave.
I apologize, but I forgot to bring this up in new business. Did you, as a council, want to adjust our meeting schedule for the summer to have only one meeting in July and one meeting in August? And if so, do you want to go ahead and isolate those meetings and vote on that tonight so you have those called out? I believe we had an email going around that we were looking at having one July 28th and either August 11th or August 25th. It was up to you guys as far as what you wanted to do there. But I at least wanted to bring that up so you could potentially vote on it. We can get that out to the general public. Sorry.
You said July the 11th and August the.
July 28th was what was suggested because of the 4th of July holiday being at the beginning of the month. Traditionally, they would have been July 14th and July 28th. So you're looking at canceling the 14th meeting. And then traditionally, it would be August 11th and the 25th. And the question is which one of those meetings you would like to keep and which one you would like to set by the wayside. And if we need to call a special meeting, by all means, we can. But just isolating what you want to have as your one meeting per month for the summer.
Yeah, I'm okay with the dates, one meeting a month. Do you need a motion?
We gotta figure out which one in August.
What, you need the date for August?
Yeah, so I would say make a motion to have one meeting July 28th, and then if you'd like it on the 11th or the 25th of August, and however you want to proceed
The
with that.
25th. Okay. Mayor, can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to make a motion to have one council meeting in July on July 28th and one council meeting in August on August 25th.
All in favor?
Call the roll.
Councilwoman Nola,
Aye.
Councilwoman Covington,
Aye.
Councilman Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Shropshire,
Aye.
Councilman Williams.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Our meeting will be July the 28th and August the 25th. And those will be our meetings in the summer. I'm done. It's time to go.
You want to enter a
I would
motion?
like to make, I'd like to make a motion to end our meeting,
So moved.
to adjourn.
Second, Quita Noah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
Before you all pack up completely, we are gonna try to have a work session with the next meeting.
Yeah, before the-
And I'll email you guys reminders.
Okay.
You said a work.
Okay.
If you all can
Right.
vote.